Hello, faithful listener, and welcome to Edquiring Minds with me, Stephen Edwards, which is a name that I now realise is not as good as I thought it was, but I've already bought the URL. Welcome to my new show, my new podcast. Should probably start with telling you a little bit about myself. I am a journalist. I am passionate about the truth. It's why I navigated my way through the best universities and graduated with highest honours and went on to work for one of the best and most reputable companies in the world until my very public dismissal amidst the sea of controversies. And I don't think I can go any further without addressing it. So I used the word, a foul four-letter word, on live broadcast radio. I was interviewing a woman. We got into a lively debate. I said the word, and I regret it. I have since, in the months past, talked with many women's groups and sought guidance and forgiveness, and although it didn't save my job, I feel that I have grown from the experience. I am filled with regret. I am filled with a higher understanding of a woman's struggle in life and how that word cuts into a woman. I apologise for my actions and I want to move forward. However, I do maintain she was being a cunt at the time. Anyway, on to this week's episode. I sat down with extreme survivalist Mr. Lee Camp, who I'm sure you've recognised both from his popular television shows and books and his many entrepreneurial escapades. But he's been in the news recently because he suffered a very terrible injury, and there's really no other way to put it. He lost his penis. He is now without penis. And obviously I wanted to talk about that. He seemed a little bit cagey at first, but using my very, very experienced and well-rounded skills as an interviewer, I broached the subject and got him to open up and got the exclusive that many other papers, including my former employer, were not able to get. So, before we start, I would like to bring you some words from our sponsors, because podcasting isn't free. Jefferson and Duggins would like me to tell you about their new blank VHS tapes. Obsolete? You're obsolete. And now, please enjoy my conversation with Mr. Lee Camp.
Yeah, I like it. It's like a play on words, yeah.
Yeah, but there's better plays, but everything's paid for now, so.
But there you are.
Yeah.
There you are.
Mate, you ready to go?
I am ready, my Cockney squire.
Welcome everyone to Edquiring Minds. I am Stephen Edwards, and I'm here today with Lee Camp.
G'day.
Lee, it's a pleasure to have you here.
It is a pleasure to be here.
You are everywhere at the minute. You are a hot property.
Well, I get around. I am an explorer after all.
You are known as a rugged survivalist. Many shows, many books on how to survive outside the things that we as man have come to rely on. How would you describe yourself?
Well, I think you summed it up pretty expertly there. I'm a outdoorsman by trade, explorer by nature, and a all-round top bloke. So I'm told.
Yeah.
So I'm told.
And you've travelled the globe.
I've done it all. Oh, I'm explorer by trade. I've been everywhere. All the funny named countries: Cucamonga, Casadilla, Seattle.
Seattle's funny name.
Oh, you had to be there, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm also a bit of a extreme sportist.
Yeah,
a
that's
risk
exactly
taker.
what I was hoping to talk about today. Tell me about some of the crazy things you've been through.
Well, I'm a pioneer of the great sport of off-road blindfolded biking.
Blindfolded biking?
Yes, it's as for the man who likes a bit more adrenaline in his adrenaline sport. From the creators of ropeless bungee jumping.
Isn't that just falling?
If the lawsuits clear up, we'll be holding a tournament in the future to crown the greatest faller of all time.
I look forward to seeing that.
And of course, there is koala baiting.
Koala baiting.
Koala baiting, which is what you would imagine hunting and baiting koalas. Little shits. Give you STDs, you know.
Koala bears do.
Oh yeah, riddled. Oh yeah, riddled with them.
Well, I suppose that sort of comes with the territory, wouldn't you say?
Well, that's what makes me so well suited for my job of rugged explorer. You see, injuries. I mean, I've had them all.
Yeah, injuries is what I wanted to talk about, really. Yeah. Tell me about some of your injuries.
Oh, well, where do I start? The head, the neck, the lower body.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Well, let me think of a good story. I recall my time with the pygmies. Things there did not end well when I tried to bring my brand of extreme sports to the pygmy population with pygmy ping pong tournaments, where the bats would be on fire and they'd be blindfolded.
Yeah, and in a wooded area. Yeah, it's not going to end well.
No, some say regular pygmy ping pong was enough, but I protested that regular ping pong.
And I was reading about this when I did research. You were cleared because they couldn't prove you started the forest fire.
Well, that's the good thing about pygmies. They're a quiet bunch. They know how to keep their mouth shut. You know.
And you've been. Do you like going to those sorts of places where there's really like the basic kind of civilization?
Well, these tribes, they have so little. You feel like half a man when you're there.
That's something I'd like to touch on later. But continue.
Well, you live with these people. You pick up their baggage, the scars which gather. They don't match the emotional scars.
Really?
Say, for my Somalian pirates adventure, for example.
Oh, this isn't one I've actually heard about. Tell me more.
Well, I was sailing the seas as one explorer does when I was intercepted by Somalian pirates and
it's a growing problem.
Taken aboard and held prisoner there for quite some time.
Did you? But you. Well, obviously you got out alive because you're in front of me today.
Oh yeah, we got on famously after a bit. Yeah. I even kind of introduced them to a more organised way of thinking. I introduced a HR department, for example. So
to the Somali pirates.
To the Somali pirates, yeah. So now when they have grievances with management, it's not lashes and just shoot them in the head and throw them overboard. It's file the paperwork.
Well, like informal warning. Final warning, dismissal.
Exactly, yeah.
From being a Somali pirate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's something to be proud of. Now that we've got the humanitarian stuff out the way, your charity work, I did want to talk about, and I hope you're comfortable with this, but I wanted to talk about some things that you've been in the news for recently.
I know what this is about.
You do? Well, that would make things a lot less awkward.
Well, as a grand explorer, things happen you have little to no control over. You have to roll with these punches.
Yeah, but this is something that's life changing, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I left a part of myself in Zimbabwe, part of myself that no man should be without. A part that may surprise you to learn is the biggest part of me.
Well, I wouldn't.
Part that has impressed many lady from here to Saigon, might I add, without being too bashful.
Well, you might as well. I think anyone will excuse it, given the circumstances.
My soul.
Your soul. Soul is what you left.
Yeah, well,
is what you're talking about. Sorry, I was confused for a second. No, go on.
Well, when you have to strangle a whole herd of zebras, you can't come through that without a dampening of the glint in your eye.
Sorry, you strangled zebras?
A whole herd, yeah.
Why?
Well, they became bloodthirst. They went crazy. It was for their own good. It was the humane thing to do.
How many are we talking?
Oh, at least 50. And they've got thick necks. So I really, really had to lean in there and... I didn't have to make those school children watch, but I think at the end of the day, I think they've learned the most important lesson about conservationism.
Which is what?
Is that zebras are fucking hard to strangle.
Oh. And you found that traumatic?
Well, have you ever looked into the eyes of a zebra as you choke the life out of him in front of his zebra babies?
No, not recently.
Do you know what it sounds like when a zebra is dying?
I don't want to know. Right. Well, I mean, that is horrific. I mean, that's no doubt like among the worst things I've ever heard. But sticking with the subject of trauma, I have to confess that wasn't what I was getting at. I was actually talking about another thing when I said you've been in the news for it recently.
Oh, I know. Yeah. The cock story. This is...
Yes, it is.
People just want to know about that.
Not
about my great works. Not about the animals that I've saved or the ones I've killed. For their own good. They want to know the cock story.
Well, debatable. But, I mean, you have to admit, it's it's got people curious. So would you relate to me?
Well, okay. Japanese fighting roosters
Oh,
are a dangerous sort of rooster.
right.
But it's a tradition. It's part of these people's heritage.
I was talking
So I'm trying to put the Lee Camp spin on things.
fighting. So when you say cock, you're talking about
The Japanese fight.
I think we're getting our wires crossed. And again, I'm sure that's another enthralling tale of animal brutality, but not really. I'm talking about like what you're in the papers for at the moment. Everyone seems to. That's why I was so pleased that you chose to come on my show, because you, like I said, you're a hot property right now. Everyone wants to get the story. If you catch my drift.
You're of course referring to the Brazil story.
If that's where it happened, then
Well,
yeah, I think so.
It's all going to be covered in my next book in my series of autobiographies. I'm sure you'll remember my books are among the best sellers. My first book, That's So Camp, that was a bestseller for at least a half a year.
Mm-hmm.
This story you're talking about now will be in the Camp Adventures.
The Camp Adventures.
Parentheses, that's it's also pretty camp.
Do you run those titles past anyone?
No, I am a one-man marketing
You're
machine.
one man.
I put them out there and I say...
So there's no one to
The-
like
the-
flag up any sort of misunderstandings.
No, there's just this...
The Camp Adventures.
Camp comes as camp comes. You know, Lee Camp does what Lee Camp does. He does it the camp way.
Well,
And he has a grand time being it.
and listen, I understand that you want to save some stories. This would be a get for me. And I would consider it a personal favour.
As emotionally traumatic as it is, I will throw you the proverbial bone and tell you the story of how I lost my PP.
I would really appreciate that.
Ladies loved my little PP.
I'm sure they did.
Some fellas too.
Well, I've heard that's a thing.
It was a rainy day in the Brazilian rainforests, and PP he just sort of wandered off into the thicket.
Sorry?
He was the best cameraman that anyone had ever known. Little PP. We had such a bond. Me
The
and
cameraman
I.
was called
Yeah,
PP.
Yeah. A few inches above a dwarf, he was. Little PP.
And when you lost PP.
He was quite hard to find in the thicket, being so small.
Right, so you can't. See, I thought
And
you
I
were.
can't really go more into it than that because I'll cry.
Oh,
and as camp as Lee Camp can be.
Okay, look, well, look, getting off that subject then. I have to confess again, that wasn't the story I was going for. It's awkward. I don't know how to sort of broach the topic. It's something you're in the papers for. It's a little embarrassing. Lee, I'm sorry to be crass, but you've been sort of bouncing around the subject of the story about the. It's awkward. It's hard to broach it because of the content. It's something you're in the papers for now. It's something embarrassing.
Oh, the Schlong story.
I think so.
Well, the Schlong, they're like no other tribe that's ever been.
Okay, that time that was on purpose. Okay,
I
now
don't
you're
know
doing this was on
what
purpose.
you were talking about.
That was
Edquiring
on
Minds.
purpose. Okay, cock story, fine. PP, maybe. Schlong, really? Okay, tell me the story of your penis, Lee. Tell me how you lost your penis in an accident.
That's what this has all been about.
That's what are you, of course, that's
What about my charities?
we've read the books. We want to know the fucking cock story. Tell me the story, Lee.
I cannot believe that I have been dragged all the way down here to tell you about my story of a horrible thing
It's
that
the
happened
only
to me.
reason
I don't
anyone
want to
wants
talk
to talk
over
to you.
but I'm going to talk over you, sir, and say that you offend me and you are an insult to your whole profession.
I apologise.
And you cannot apologise enough. I'm not going to let you talk over me. And this is a ridiculous
Maybe it wasn't the
occurrence,
best
and
way.
I am raising my voice here
Okay,
to
okay,
your
okay,
own level.
okay.
And I lost it in a DVD player.
What? You're... Right, we've been getting our wires crossed, so I'm going to be absolutely, brutally clear here. You lost your penis in a DVD player. Is that what you're saying right now?
Listen,
Oh, Jesus Christ. How does that
as
even...
an adrenaline junkie,
Which we've
I have an
established.
addiction problem. Those pygmies did not want to play ping pong with flaming bats. Those cocks did not want to fight in pools of hot liquids. But I made them do it because that is what I need to do to feed my addiction. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when you're stuck in a hotel room in a foreign land and it's raining outside and you've got no Wi-Fi, you need to do things to kind of, test yourself, to find your limits. I, for example, kind of wanted to see if I could get my dick in the little hole in the DVD tray when that comes out and then pull it out quick enough. Just to see if I could. One day of my life when one tiny thing happens and that's all people want to talk about. It's ridiculous.
Hang on, stop. So what you're telling me is, when you press the button to open the DVD tray, you inserted your penis into the hole.
Yes.
You then pressed the close button and attempted to remove your penis before the tray fully closed. And in doing so, you castrated yourself. Your penis came off or was so badly damaged that it had to be removed.
I was so close to getting it out as well.
How are you... So you've been all over the world. You've done some crazy things. You must be somewhat intelligent. Why would you do that? Even if you... What kind of rush did you get from it? Do you regret it?
Well, regret is a strong word.
Oh my God.
Well, at least I'm not fucking hanging from my neck with a lemon in my mouth, you know what I mean? Doing the old stroke and choke.
I'm not even sure if I can put this up because it's...
Is that a penis joke?
No, it's
is
not
that
a penis joke.
This
It's a
is
joke.
why I don't like to talk
on
about
the
this
website.
with
I meant
people.
on the website.
I swear, it's ridiculous. I will choke you like a zebra. I will choke you like a thick-necked zebra, sir.
I brought you all the way down here. I expected some heroic tale, maybe saving a foreign diplomat's life in exchange for one of your vital organs. I was messed about. I was told stories that sounded like they included the penis, but really didn't. And then when we finally got to the penis story, it was pathetic. I mean, Lee, there's nothing else left to say, except, I mean, can I say it?
Choke you like a fucking zebra. Make the noise. Make the